If possible, we'll wind up. Otherwise, we'll take it for next class also. So let's see what exactly we mean by the streams in today's class with few examples. So last class we were discussing with respect to concurrency. So what is meant by concurrency and how do we deal with the concurrency and what are the supporting procedures with respect to list we have discussed in last class. Today's class, let's see the concurrency problem has occurred because we were trying to access the same variable, same data by multiple processes. So similarly here also, because of this assignment statement, how we can delay certain things. So that is what we are going to see with respect to the streams. Okay, so streams, which is nothing but which is a delayed evaluation. So based on the requirement only, we will be we have to evaluate. That is, we have to apply the computation. If not required, we can just request. We can just keep it for it. We can just request it for wait till we request for it. So that is what is the thing which is called to be as the streams. So let's see with an example. So if you take up this example, that is we have defined two procedures. One in an iterative fashion, that is the one which you can find towards your left hand side. That is the iterative fashion. That is considered to be as the sum prime, where you are asking the user to enter two variables, and within this we have defined another procedure, ITR procedure, where we are accessing. We have mentioned it to be as the count and accumulation. So we are here what we are trying to do is we are calculating the sum of prime numbers within a given range of elements, right? So how the calculation, all of us know like how it will be done. So we have the condition mentioned, just verifying whether the count has crossed the higher range or a higher range. If that count has been crossing the higher range, that is nothing but the B value, then we are just returning the accumulate part. If not, then we are just checking whether the value, whatever we are having, whether it is the prime number or not. If it is the prime number, what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to add it. So for that purpose, what we are doing, we are once again calling this ITR procedure, where we are incrementing the count part and we have to accumulate. So accumulation, what we do is we will be accumulating with respect to the count itself. So accumulate, which was initialized with 0 value, and each time the previous count value will be added to this accumulate part. So if it is if your count is a prime number, that is, if your starting range, we are just checking from the starting range till the ending range. So A is our starting range. Whether we have crossed the ending range or not. If we have crossed the ending range, whatever is the accumulated value has been returned. If it is not the and we have not crossed the ending range, then what we have to do is we are just checking whether the each value starting from the A, whether it is a prime number or not. So if it is the prime number, then we are accumulating it and we are incrementing the A value by next number. So +1 has been done. If it is not a prime number, then what we have to do? Still, we have to increment the count value so that it reaches the next value. But we don't have to accumulate it. So accumulate value will remain same. We are not incrementing it. So like this, the ITR procedure has been defined. And before we close the sum prime procedure, we are calling this ITR procedure by passing the starting range of the value that is considered to be as the count, which is A, and accumulate has been initialized to 0. B, which is already there within the sum prime, which we can access it within, and ITR is defined inside the sum prime, so B variable can be accessed. Ending range can be accessed directly. We don't have to pass that. So that is what is how the sum prime procedure has been defined. By now, all of us know like by using this iterative way of calling the procedures, we can even define the sum prime procedure. That is already we have discussed with respect to filter, accumulate, enumerate interval, enumerate, what was that? Enumerate tree, map procedure. All these procedures we have already discussed, right? So keeping that procedure also, by calling these sequence of procedures also, we can call this, we can define the sum prime procedure, right? So if at all, if you are defining the sum prime procedure by using this sequence of procedures, how it will be defined? we have to accumulate the contents. So we need the accumulate procedure where the arguments passed will be plus and then so plus, sorry. So plus value, plus is the argument operator which we are passing, and the initial value which we have to add is the 0. So 0 is being passed. And what is the range of values which we have to add? Only the prime numbers. So we have to filter the contents. So we are applying the filter procedure where we are passing the procedure name to be as the prime. And this prime number, we are applying this prime calculation onto what? We have to apply it onto the range of elements. So how do we get the range of elements? For that, we have applied it to be as the enumerate interval procedure has been called, where we are passing the starting range and the ending range, and we are making it to be as a list. So enumerate interval will be returning a list of values between A to B. And by using this filter procedure, what happens? We are just filtering the only the prime numbers, whatever has been passed from the list AB. So from this filter procedure, we will be returning only the list of prime numbers. Once you return this list of prime numbers, by using this accumulate procedure, what we are doing? We are just adding all those prime numbers. And at the end, once you cross the value, that is once you reach to the last element of your list, that is nil, then we are just returning it to be as 0. Add it with any number added with 0 will return the same value. And that is how the sum prime procedure has been defined. We can define it by using this by these procedures. Okay. But now, what is the difference? Now, if you see, if the range of values A to B, if it is a small range, well and fine, we can do it by both the procedures. Will be almost giving us the same effect itself. That is like when you are using this ITR procedure, what happens? The space can all of us know, like when we have discussed with respect to order of complexity, we have seen since it is in the iterative process which has been generated, the space complexity will be 1 because the same count and accumulate is getting updated each and every time. So we are not modifying, we are not requiring any more space, but the space complexity will be 1, right? Now, when you compare the same thing with respect to the sum prime procedure, with respect to this enumerate interval filter and sequence of procedures, in this case, if you take up, what happens here by using this enumerate interval, first we are generating the list of elements. So all the list, if suppose, if the range of values from A to B, whatever we are saying, if you consider A to be as some 100 and B to be as some 1 lakh. Just imagine how much enumerate interval will be generating all the values between starting from 100 to 1 lakh. All the values will be generated, right? So that means just imagine the space complexity required for this enumerate interval, whatever has been generated. So it requires all the values to be stored from starting from 100 to 1 lakh. Whereas when you compare it with this ITR procedure, we are not storing all the we are not generating all the 100 to 1 lakh values at a time, and we are doing it. We are just till the range whatever we cross till that point of time, we keep accumulating, we keep adding it. The same procedure is getting called again and again. So the space complexity will remain 1 itself. It is a constant part. Whereas when you compare it with respect to this enumerate interval procedure, it requires more space complexity. The requirement for space is more. But when you compare it with respect to the coding part or the feasibility part, the way how we write with respect to this that is the sequence of procedures, that would be the easier way of doing it when compared with the sum prime procedure, which we have done it with respect to this iterative process, which generates the iterative process, right? So now, so based on the point here is now since our space complexity was huge, right? If we want some delay to be applied, then we don't have to go with, if you don't want all the values, say for example, in this case, sum of prime numbers within the given range. Say maybe after some values, you may not find the prime numbers at all, right? So we can delay some, after some values, we can apply some sort of delay for it. So how we can do it? That is what has been done with respect to the streams. If we don't want all the values to be generated at a time, then we can apply this delay for it. So that is what is called to be as streams. Say for example, in this case, if you take up this example, if you see, say we are generating by using this enumerate interval, we are generating the value starting from 10,000 to somewhere around 10 lakhs. We are creating all the values. And what we are doing, we are applying the filter procedure and we are filtering out all the prime numbers. Once we filter out all the prime numbers from this given range, what we are doing, we are applying CDR and then car of it. So when we are saying CDR and then car of it, that means which is nothing but we are going to pick the second prime number from this. Agree? So that means if our intention is to get only the second prime number, then we don't have to generate all the values starting from 10,000 to 10 lakhs, right? We don't have to generate all the values. We just wanted only the second prime number. After getting the second prime number, if required only we can do this evaluation. Otherwise, we can say it like we can request it for applying a delay for it. Okay. Hope you are able to understand what I'm trying to say. So this is the place where we can apply the streams. So if you want some sort of only the second value or only some portion of it if you require, not the entire huge range of contents, then we can apply the streams. So what is the modification what we have to do for the existing ones is, so whenever we are applying the construction, that is when we are saying we have done it for all these things, we have applied it for the list of contents, right? So when we are saying where the modification will be, the modification also will be applied onto when we are constructing as well as when we are selecting the contents. That is that to the list contents. So when we are applying the constructor, with respect to streams, when you are working out, the keyword which you have to use for the constructor is cons string. Okay, it won't be simple cons, it will be cons string. Okay. If you have to have the selectors applied for the stream contents, then we will be applying it to be as stream car instead of car. If you are applying it for CDR, it will be mentioned to be as stream CDR, not simple CDR. Okay. So when we are having the constructor, we are applying it for the cons stream. If it is the selectors, we are making it to be as stream car and stream CDR. Okay. So stream car, when you are applying, we are going to pick the first element of the constructed value. So if you see in this example, if you see stream car, cons stream of xy. So we have constructed the value xy by using this cons stream. And now we are applying the stream car. So that means we are going to pick the first content of it. So it will return the x value itself. So the working part will remain same. Instead, in the small modification, whatever we apply is, we will be applying the small modification onto our stream CDR. Okay. Let's see how the constructor will be written. Before going for that, what are the supporting other primitive procedures which are required for our stream procedures are, if you want to say that whether the list has reached to the empty list, that is we were writing it to be as NIL or empty list has been represented. That same thing, if you are writing it when we are doing it with respect to the stream, for verifying whether it is an empty list or not, the keyword what we use is the empty string. This will be helping us to check whether the stream whatever we have mentioned, that is whether the list whatever we have reached, whether it is an empty list or not. Similarly, if you have to check whether it is an empty list, the predicate we were using, null we were using, null followed by the question mark we were using. Here in streams, it will be considered to be as stream hyphen null question mark. So all the primitive procedures with respect to streams has been bold here. It has been mentioned in the bold so that it will be more clear for you. So the difference, the stream null it is a predicate which will return true or false. That is, it will say whether the list is an empty list or not. And if you want to return the nil, what we were returning in the usual constructor procedures, if you want to represent nil, NIL or empty single quotes, empty brackets, that could be represented by using the empty string. And selectors and constructors are streamcar, streamcdr, constructor is constring. Okay, keeping this, just let us see all the few of the previous examples, whatever we have discussed. So you remember writing the procedure reference reference values. That is, if you want, if you pass the list of contents and SSR list of contents, and if you want to pick one particular the list content at one particular position value. So if you pass the position value and the list, it will just return the value at that particular position. Remember, we have written the procedure. So for that, if you are writing, if you are rewriting that by using the stream reference, how it could be written is, we could write it to be as if the value n value is reached 0. If that is the case, then we can we have to return the first value of our list. So it will be written to be as stream car. If not, then it will be written to be as, we are calling once again the stream reference procedure, where the list content has to be reduced. We have to remove the first content of it and we have to pick up the remaining elements. So for that, stream CDR will be applied, and each time we are calling the stream reference, we have to reduce the size. The position value has to be reduced each time, so that once it reaches to 0, it will return that particular value from the list. Okay. Similarly, if you are defining the map procedure, how the map procedure could be defined? The map procedure could be defined by using this, by asking this map, the procedure, which procedure has to be passed, and the list of contents. So the list of contents has been taken to be as S. And here we have to verify whether it is an empty list or not. For that, we are using the stream null. And once we reach to the empty list, what we have to return? Previously, we were writing it to be as nil or empty, single quotes, empty, open bracket, close bracket. Here, with respect to stream, when you are working, we will be just returning it to be as the empty string. Okay, and in between, it won't be a space, it will be hyphen mentioned. If this condition is not satisfied, what we have to do? We have to keep applying the procedure onto each element of our list. So what we are doing, we are applying the cons stream. Cons stream of the procedure has been applied. Once again, we are creating the list. People are there in lobby. Okay. So continuing, we have rewritten this map procedure in this way, where we have applied the constructor stream, and each time we are applying the procedure onto each first element of our list contents. And once again, we are calling the stream map procedure by applying the procedure. Same procedure will remain same, and we are reducing the list content. So we are applying stream CDR. So the way how we write the procedure will remain same. Only thing is the terminologies has to be, the primitive procedures has to be changed. Okay. So just keep in mind, whenever we are applying the streams, there is a delay. So now let us see how the delay, what I'm trying to say. Okay, one more example. So stream for each. This is the same thing. Instead of returning it to be as null, we are just returning it to be as the last statement, whether it is done or something. So here what we have done is we have just returned, we are just verifying whether the list is an empty list. If so, if once we reach to an empty list, instead of returning an empty list itself, we are just returning a string itself. So done, we are just messaging. Otherwise, what we are doing is we are just applying the procedure onto the first element of it, and that value will be returned. Along with this, we are just calling the stream procedure by calling the remaining elements. In the previous example, what we are doing, we were just returning a list itself. Okay. Here we are just putting it to be in the, it will just display the values. It is not a list. It is just displaying all the values. Apply the procedure onto the each element of your content. And once it is, once we reach to an empty list, we are just saying it to be as done. Just a message will be returned back. So here it is not, we are not constructing any list. Okay. So this streams for each procedure, we can use it. It will be better if we can view the the values we can display. It will be in a better way. Because in the previous example, that is the previous this maps stream map, what we are doing, we are just returning a list. Here, if you write it in this way, we are not returning a list. We are just returning the value one by one. Once it is done, we are just returning a message saying that it is done. So just an example for display part. Display stream has been defined where we are accepting the list of contents and calling the stream for each procedure. And as a procedure name, we are just returning it to be as the display line itself. What is this display line has been defined? Display line has been defined in terms of displaying the X value and each time going to the next lines and S value. So we are applying the procedure. What we have applied as display procedure has been applied. So it will just display it on the each value will be applied and that value will be displayed. If it is not the display procedure, any other procedure, that procedure will be applied to that particular each value of your list. So now what is the difference? So let's now start looking with respect to the difference of streams and the ordinary list contents. So in the in the usual list procedure, what we use the selectors to be as car and CDR. Okay, and whenever we want the car and CDR to be applied, it will be done at the everything, all the values, whatever we have to. That is when we are applying the selectors car and CDR. Before applying this, the values would have been constructed. Right, so the construction would have been happened at before we apply this car and CDR. So construction has been done already. Okay, whereas in streams, what happens is the before when we, the car will be just returning the value, the first value of your list. But in the CDR part, the CDR there will be a delay. So we are just saying that apply some sort of delay onto the CDR part, that is the remaining part, whether you want to generate or not. If you want to generate, so CDR, that is what I'm saying. So when we are trying to implement the streams, where we will be having a delay function, this is a primitive function. This will be applied onto the remaining elements. So before we apply CDR. See, usually when we say CDR, you will be getting the remaining elements, right? So here in stream CDR, what happens is you will not immediately get it. You are just applying a delay to it. So if required, then only you will force that delay to be removed. That means we are just promising that we can evaluate with a small delay. If required only, we have to remove that delay. Otherwise, it will be in a delay position itself. So in future, if you require, then only take it. Otherwise, we don't have to evaluate it. So we have the contents, but if required only, you have to evaluate. So what is a small change in the constructor and the constraint constructor procedure and in the CDR procedure? What is the changes when we are saying const string A, B, it is nothing but it is same as saying that cons of A, which is our first value, for B part, the second part, from the second value onwards till the last content, everything, we have applied a delay procedure. So delay is a primitive procedure where we are saying that it won't be generated. We have the contents, but it will be generated if required. Okay, so you are applying a delay to it. So that's what it says that. So whenever so delay is a primitive procedure. So first, if you are having the delay applied onto the constructor part, now what we have to do, how we can remove it in CDR. When we are applying the CDR, there we have to apply the force. So if you see the stream selectors procedures, stream car, when you see, it is the same. We are just returning the first element of our list. So car of stream itself. Whereas when you see the stream CDR, here along with our CDR, we are applying a force. Why we have to apply the forces? Because in the constructor, we have applied a delay to it. So to remove this delay, you have to apply some sort of force to it. So we have the two primitive procedures called delay and force, which has been used in our streams. So this delay will be applied onto the constructor part, saying we are just promising that all the remaining elements would be generated if required. So when you know how it is, whether it is required or not, when you are calling your stream CDR. So when you are applying stream CDR, so what happens? You will be applying some sort of force to it, so that it will be released. The delay will be removed and you will be applying a CDR to it and you will be generating the next value. So this is how the primitive procedures are being defined. So you can just say it. So cons stream AB, which means that, which is same as cons of A, delay of B. Streams car will remain same, where we are applying car of this first element of the list would be returned. So this stream we are applying, so we are considering it to be a stream itself as the argument what we have passed. Whereas in the stream CDR, we have to apply the force so that the delay will be released and generate the rest of the streams. Okay. So let's see with an example what we have done. The previous example, that is where we have enumerate interval the 10,000 to 10 lakhs, and we have applied the filter prime procedure, and then we have applied car of CDR of, so that we can get the second prime number. Okay, in the previous example, what in the previous way, if you have defined it, well, what it does is it will be generating all the values starting from 10,000 to 10 lakhs, and then you will be applying the filter procedure where you will be filtering out all the prime numbers, and then you will be applying the CDR part for it. First element will be removed. You will be getting all the remaining elements. After that, you are applying card procedure, so that you will be picking only the second. You will be getting only the second prime number. Okay. So now let us see how this works. So before going, so based on the streams, if you are applying, so these are the procedure small changes what we are going to apply. So stream car instead of car, stream CDR instead of CDR, and the filter procedure, enumerate interval procedure, map procedure, already we have seen how it has been changed. Similarly, other procedures, all the accumulate procedure, everything can be modified by using the stream car and stream CDR also. So just as an example, just since we are applying this enumerate interval, so how the stream enumerate interval would be rewritten. So here the arguments will remain same, low and high. Conditions, that is like the condition remains same. If low is greater than high, we are just returning. Our intention is it has to return a list. So it will be just returning the empty string. If it is not, then we are applying the cons stream of low value, and we will be having the stream enumerate interval being called with respect to this low incrementing. Each time you are incrementing the low value, and high value will remain same. Okay, so now if you see, if you are applying this enumerate interval 10,000 to 10 lakhs, how it will be evaluated. So if you see, the low is greater than high, condition doesn't satisfy, so it will come to the else part. In the else part, what we have, we are having cons stream of low. So cons stream of low means, which is nothing but, I can even say it in this way, cons of 10,000, low value is 10,000 right now. So cons of 10,000. As the second part, what is that? In the second part of this count string, we are having this, again I'm calling this stream enumerate interval with the next low value, and the high value will remain same. So what happens? I am applying a delay for it for this procedure stream enumerate interval. Okay. If this delay has to be removed, means what I have to do? I have to call this stream CDR. If I apply the stream CDR, then only this delay will be removed and this procedure call will happen. Otherwise, it will be waiting till someone forces some sort of force to it. Okay. Is it clear? So the first time when you are executing, this is how it will be applied. If suppose, if I call this procedure in this way, if I have the procedure call done to be as, I'll write it to be as stream CDR to be as SCD, because space and my writing. So SCD of stream enumerate interval SEI I have written, where the low value, I'll, instead of 10,000 and 10 lakhs, I'll make it to be as 1 to say for easier understanding. If this is the one, what happens? So first we are applying the stream enumerate interval low to high, where first low value is 1, a high value is 10. So what it first checks whether the 1 is greater than 10. Condition doesn't satisfy. So it will come to the else part. In the else part, what we are having, I'll just write this SCD as such, which is nothing but stream CDR. Okay. Now, when I have applied this procedure call, we are having this cons stream, which I am writing it to be as CS. Cons stream, what is my low value, which is nothing but 1. After this, we are having this stream enumerate interval. So I'll be having the stream enumerate interval SEI. The next value was 2. The next value is 10, right? So this one, when you are seeing how it will be written is, this cons stream, how it will be mentioned is, it will be written to be as, this procedure call we haven't applied yet, so this will come as such. So cons stream, which is nothing but, it will be mentioned to be as cons of 1. There is a delay applied onto the second portion. So delay of stream enumerate interval SEI I have written onto the next low value was 2. The next, the high value remains same. This is how it will be. Okay. Now I have cons of 1, delay of this one. So if I have to apply, so if I have to remove this delay, once I remove this delay, then only this procedure call will happen. So how I can remove this delay? For that, what happens is I am applying this stream CDR. When I apply some sort of force to it, then only this delay will be removed. So for that reason, I have applied the stream CDR. So stream CDR, when I apply, what happens is cons 1 will remain as such. So cons of 1. This delay has been removed. Now there is a force applied. When we are applying this force procedure, this delay will be removed and this procedure call will happen. That is, stream enumerate interval will be happening. So again, when I call the stream enumerate interval, what happens? It will be nothing but low value is 2, high value is 10. So it will verify 2 is greater than 10. Condition doesn't satisfy. So it will come to the else part. So in the else part, what I have cons stream. I have written it to be a CS. Low value is 2. And I am calling once again the stream enumerate interval, where the next low value is 2 plus 1, which is 3. High value will remain same, 10. So if you rewrite this cons string, how it will be? It will be nothing but, it will be, first part will remain same, cons of 1. Cons stream, when I'm writing it in terms of cons, which will be nothing but, it will be cons of 2. There is a delay applied for the remaining part. So delay of stream enumerate interval 3 and 10. So this is how it will be. Now to release this delay, we don't have any CDR procedure, so it will wait. So it will wait till once again the stream CDR has been called. So is it clear how this works? Moving on to the one more procedure, stream filter procedure, the same thing. We have rewritten it with respect to the streams procedure. So when I'm applying the stream filter procedure with respect to 10,000 to 10 lakhs, what happens is it will not generate all the values at a time. There will be a delay. If there is any request comes, then only this delay will be removed and we will be applying the stream. It will be forced to pick the next value. So if you see when I combine with stream enumerate and stream filter, what happens? So stream enumerate interval, first it generates 10,000 to 10 lakh. So first what happens? Cons of 10,000, you will have delay has been applied for the remaining part. So you will be passing this value 10,000 to the filter procedure and you will check whether it is a prime number. It is not a prime number. So what happens in the else part, if you see in the filter procedure, in the else part, what we are having, we have stream filter procedure getting called with respect to stream CDR. Since there is a stream CDR procedure getting called here, we are forcing the delay to be removed. So since there is a force applied onto removing this delay, you will remove this delay and you will be applying once again the stream enumerate interval will be called, where you will be having cons of 10,001 would be generated and delay of enumerate interval 10,002 to 10,001, and that 10,001 would be passed to the filter procedure and it will check whether it is a prime number. Yes, it is a prime number. So when it is a prime number, what happens? You will be having the cons stream procedure getting applied, where you are picking that particular value and we are once again calling the stream filter procedure with the predicate and the stream CDR is being applied. Okay. So whenever there is a stream CDR getting applied, only at that point of time, you will be forced to pick the next, the procedure called to be applied. Otherwise, it will wait till it completes. Now, if you take up with the this particular example, so like this, you will be getting the value to be as for this streams. You will pick up 10,001, which will be, so it is not a prime number. So it will go on. You will be having the cons of 7 delay applied onto stream filter procedure prime, cons of 10,008 delay applied onto this. Okay, this is how you will be having when you call only with filter procedure and enumerate procedure, stream enumerate interval procedure. So your our 10,007 is the only prime number right now. So this will be the value which you will be getting it. So now if you have to pick the second value, what we have done, we had mentioned it to be as stream CDR has been applied outside. So when you are having the stream CDR applied outside, so it will be applying some sort of force to remove that particular delay. This delay will be removed only when you are applying the stream. We had written stream CDR. So by using that CDR, this delay will be removed. So once this delay is removed, we are applying the stream CDR again. That is stream CDR through filter procedure. Then this delay will be removed. Like this, you will be getting the next prime number, which is 10,009. So once you get this 10,009, it stops because there is no stream CDR anymore. So after this, what we had was stream car. So by using the stream car, we will be picking up the value what we had, which was 10,009. So like this, it will complete, so that we don't have to generate all the values. So the space constraint also can be reduced. So this is what has been with respect to the streams. So once this is clear, we can just see with respect to stream, infinite streams and two different types of streams we have. So we shall discuss with respect to the two different types of strings in the next class. So hope it is clear. So let's stop with this. We'll continue with the infinite streams in the next class. Any doubts, you can get it clarified. Otherwise, we can wind up.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is one doubt regarding the college. Can I ask now, or should I type in CSC AB group?
You can ask.
Ma'am. So generally phones are not allowed in the campus, no, ma'am. So is it allowed now, or the rule remains same? Like, or for the classes also laptops and stuff. Was audible?
Yeah, you're audible, but when you're in campus, you don't have to have the phone, no?
Ma'am. Yeah, I was just asking. Like,
Anyways, we'll check with this rule.
yes, ma'am. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay.